Still one of the most talked about conspiracy theories till this day. The Apollo moon landing. Neil Armstrong. Rest in peace. He's been gone for almost a decade, if not over a decade. And it's still being talked about. Whether or not it was shot at Area 51. How the flag was moving. Points to their conspiracy theories. We're going to get into that today. Hear from one of the family members and look back at some of the Apollo footage. Let's get to it.
In the new movie, First Man, Neil Armstrong is portrayed as a reluctant hero.
Well, we're not sure we're going to get onto the moon.
And that is how his son, Mark, remembers his father.
How did your dad take in the celebratory nature of what he did?
I don't think that it changed him. My father always wanted the accolades to be shared amongst the hundreds of thousands of people that were involved in the program.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff on Apollo 11.
Now, the public has a chance to know more about the man behind the moonwalk through his personal items that had been stored in a family basement, now up for auction.
I see a lot of these look like engineering type notes. Your dad was intimately involved in the workings of the mission.
Very much so. I think he considered himself an engineer before he considered himself a pilot.
The memorabilia includes everything from a piece of the Wright brothers' first plane that Neil Armstrong carried to the moon and back, to a childhood note to the Easter Bunny, but no notes about those famous words.
There's the famous flag.
To the Easter Bunny, but no.
Now this is the one that gets everybody, that makes people say this never happened. They talk about the flag's movement. How is the flag moving like that? How is it moving like that? It's not possible. That's what people constantly say. I know that's what I see in the comment section a lot.
No notes about those famous words.
One small step for man.
One giant leap for mankind.
And did you know what he was going to say?
Absolutely not, no. I don't think he decided what to say until he was there in the moment.
The defining moment for a man who, despite that giant leap, remained firmly grounded back on Earth.
The opening I ought to have on the camera. Stand what?
There's that foot going down.
There he is. There's a foot.
1969, July 20th of 1969. I wasn't even thought about, bro. Look at everything, man. Look at the footage. Wow, we've come a long way.
Coming down the steps.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. Neil, we can see you coming. Okay, I just checked. Getting back up to that first step. That isn't collapsed too far, but it's adequate to get back up. Roger, we copy. It's a pretty good little jump.
So there's a foot on the moon, stepping down on the moon. If he's testing that first step, he must be stepping down on the moon at this point. 10.
Does this seem real to y'all? Does it seem real?
This is Houston, F2, 1/160th second for shadow photography on the sequence camera. Okay. At the foot of the ladder, the limb footbeds are only depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches, although the surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass is very fine.
Boy, look at those pictures. Wow.
Can you imagine stepping down off of this spacecraft and on to a surface that no one that you know of has ever stepped on before? Can you imagine putting your foot down there just not knowing what to expect? Bro.
It's a little shadowy, but he said he expected that in the shadow of the lunar nodule. Armstrong is on the moon. Neil Armstrong, 38-year-old American, standing on the surface of the moon on this July 20th, 1969.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I think that was Neil's quote. I didn't understand it.
No, one small step for man, but I didn't get the second phrase.
Where's the
one
leap?
of our monitors here at our space headquarters.
I'm looking for him to leap, to jump, and do something.
I was able to hear that. We'd like to know what it was.
Surface is fine and powdery. I can kick it up loosely with my toe. It does adhere in fine layers, like powdered charcoal, to the sole and sides of my boots.
His quote was, that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I can see the footprints of my boots and the treads in the fine sandy particles. Neil, this is Houston. We're copying.
Oh, thank you, television, for letting us watch this one.
Isn't this something? 240 miles, 1,000 miles out there in the moon, and we're seeing this history
There seems
being
to be no
made.
difficulty in moving around as we suspected. It's even perhaps easier than the simulations of 16G that we performed in various simulations on the ground. Absolutely no trouble to walk around.
See, that's good news.
And see, this is why the conspiracies stay around for so long, right? Look at the background. There's nothing to give you any kind of way to argue or combat what a conspiracy theorist is saying about them never taking place. Look at the backdrop. You don't see nothing back there, no lights from a star, no planets, even though we know that the distances between things are exponential. It's a lot of distance in between things, you know what I mean? But there's nothing to make a case for them to say, man, stop. This did take place. This did happen. Look at this. You could make the case if you wanted to that this took place in a studio. That's not my theory, but that's a lot of people's theory. The background is just, this just is what it is. This is all we had from the archives.
This engine did not leave a crater of any size. It has about 1 foot clearance on the ground. We're essentially on a very level place here. I can see some evidence of rays emanating from the descent engine, but very insignificant amount.
To hurry up and fix that simulation.
Now we're getting a negative picture back, switch to negative polarity.
Ready to
I wonder if he could hear them laughing and joking. I don't know if I'd be too happy about people laughing and joking. And I'm here. This is an intense moment. Are you serious? Everybody stay focused for me.
bring down the camera. I'm all ready. I think it's 2 miles squared away in good shape. Okay.
That's
Okay,
Armstrong.
you'll have to pay out all the LEC, Ned. Looks like it's coming out nice and evenly.
That's the lunar
Okay,
equipment
it's,
conveyor, that tether
Quite
line.
dark here in the shadow and a little hard for me to see it. I have good footing. I'll work my way over into the sunlight here without looking directly into the sun.
I don't know where, and the Houston converter
Okay,
where this
stop now.
picture is going, the negative polarity, but we hope we get it fixed shortly. At least we can make out the figure of Neil Armstrong there.
Unofficial time on the first step, 109.2420.
Yeah, I think it's pulling the wrong one. Okay, I'm ready to pull it down now. There was still a little bit left in the... Okay, don't hold it quite so tight. Okay?
As we said, this is like a clothesline. It's going to bring down a sequence camera now for pictures. And then a little later on in this...
Looking up at the lamp, I'm standing directly in the shadow now, looking up at those in the windows. And I can see everything quite clearly. The light is sufficiently bright, backlighted into the front of the lamp, that everything is very clearly visible.
So
I don't even know if I'd have had that much distance in between me and my ride home. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge gap. I know it may seem small, but to me that's a huge gap to be that far away. And I'm trying to see if he's tethered to anything. I can't really make that out to see if he's tethered to it, because if anything was to happen and I want something attached to it so I can kind of pull myself back in, but I kind of see something, but I don't see where he's tethered to it or not.
Man's first words, Neil Armstrong's first words, setting foot on
that might be what he's throwing up and down, trying to probably get untangled or something like that. That might be what that is.
Okay, I'm going to be changing it.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. He found the bottom step of the ladder slightly awry, but says it gives no difficulty in climbing back up to the lunar module when they complete this walk. He's found the surface far more powdery than they had anticipated. He's sinking in by about 1/8 of an inch. You see his footprints in the fine particles, lunar dust adhering to his boot. No difficulty in moving around, easier than the simulations on Earth. He has about 25 minutes of activity here alone on the moon's surface, testing the environment, moving around like this, taking a good look at the lunar module, which he's given us a check on. Seems to be in good shape. Very little scoring of the moon's surface by the descent propulsion system engine. The pads settled nicely, but not very deeply, into this fine powdery sand, or fine powdery surface of the moon. Apparently it's in good position to provide the platform for takeoff, or we have heard something about that by now from him.
The surgeon says that
camera installed on the ICU bracket.
the surgeon says the crew is doing well. Data is good, crew is doing well.
And I'm still in the LEC on the secondary strip.
That would seem to indicate that they're not overexerting, I gather.
That's good news.
They're not
That's
using
right.
too much oxygen, or they're not big too much heat for the cooling system.
He's very calm. Can you hear it in his voice? You know what I mean? Coming from a firefighter background, bro, when you have like an oxygen apparatus or whatever they're using, you know what I mean? One of the most important things they told us was to always remain calm, because, you know, being panicky or overexcited or anything like that, you'll utilize a lot more of your air than if you're calm, you're just slowly breathing or using what we would call skip breathing techniques and stuff like that. You don't want to overexert yourself and use that oxygen up quickly. And just listening to him, his talk is so calm, like to the point where you could tell he's been prepared for this moment. I wonder what type of training he did for that.
Another one of our concerns erased. The fact that there isn't that much work, that they're not stressing
I'm
them.
about to take some of my first pictures here.
He's got the Hasselblad camera with him now. I think that's the one that was lowered to him for still pictures. It's not the sequence camera, which I believe stays in the lunar module.
Man,
Roger, Neil, we're reading you last.
footage is going crazy right now. This is where back in the day you would go up to the TV and you bang the TV to get the things we used to have to do as kids, man. Bang the TV so it could reset.
And clear.
Let's see, get some pictures and the contingency sample.
Oh, man.
I think that the flight plan actually called for him to take the contingency sample first and then the pictures. As I recall, all my reading of the plan up to now, the contingency sample went first.
35.5 minutes of PLSS time expended now.
He's confirmed too that they're on a very level place there, which is good, and was partly because of his own skill in making that manual landing after it looked like they were coming down in a very rough area.
You know, it may be that Neil elected not to gather up a contingency sample because he feels there's no contingency here. He's showing great confidence that they'll do everything they intend to do.
It very well could be.
This is Houston. Did you copy about the contingency sample, over?
All right, you're going to get to that just as soon as I finish the picture series.
Well, he kind of twisted the order around a little bit. You may be right, Wally, as to what's in his mind, because the contingency sample really is superfluous if they go on with the rest of the walk and get the full samples, the 100 pounds or so of rock, and the documented samples of rock, in which they identify rock by rock, where they got it, and picture where they got it, and all that sort of thing. Although Newell's kind of shaking his head there about that. I think Newell Trask wants that contingency sample first, just like I said in the flight plan. I want to be sure he gets that pocket full of surface rock.
Make sure we get something.
Right.
I have an idea we're going to get everything we want.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I've been trying to grab everything I can see. What is this? I'm taking it. What is this? I'm taking it. Oh, this looks cool. I'm taking this too. Everything. Everything I can fit in my pocket, everywhere.
Just going so beautifully.
The moving around and the exertion that they're showing in doing that, or that Neil's showing so far, is, of course, the great thing that they've learned already. And
Okay,
this
you're going to get the contingency sample there in your
now Aldrin's been bugging him for it. Commander's going to get tired of those kibitzers in a minute and get them up to contingency sample just to quiet them. Nag, nag, nag.
He stepped out of the field of view. I wonder what he's up to now.
Right.
Okay, the contingency sample is down and it's up sample.
Contingency
I think
sample.
it's a little difficult to dig through the initial crust. Very interesting. It's a very soft surface, but here and there where I plug with the contingency sample collector, I run into very hard surface, but it appears to be very cohesive material of the same sort.
That's what I'm saying. Each step you take is unknown. So you could be stepping in something that's the equivalent of quicksand here on Earth, and you just start sinking. How do you know? Like, that's why I say, man, I don't know if I'd have been holding on to whatever, my ride home. And that's probably about as far as y'all have got me to go.
In other words, you know, he's got this little sort of bag on a sharp rim that he's dragging along with an extension handle across the surface, and he's finding, as he reports there, that it's hard to get it to dig in.
It has a stud beauty all its own. It's like much of the high desert of the United States. It's different, but it's very pretty out here.
Very pretty.
That's the first compliment the moon's had.
A lot of the rock samples out here, the hard rock samples, have what appear to be vesicles in the surface.
Appear to be what, Newell?
Vesicles.
Also, I'm looking at one now
Oh.
that appears to have some
Holes.
sort of phenocryst.
Phenocryst, typical of volcanic rocks.
Houston, roger that. Okay, the handle is off the, push has been about, 6-8 inches into the surface. Like it's pretty easy to... It is. It's, I'm sure I could push it in farther, but, it's hard for me to bend down farther than that. Now you can throw so far. You can really throw things a long way up here. My pocket open, folks? Yes it is. It's not up against your suit though. Hit it back once more. More towards the end.
And then here we have, hold on. So when I hit pause right there, can y'all see the little specks back there? You couldn't really, you kind of see it. I don't know if that, but that could be, you know, the poor quality of the video that making it look like stars or whatever back there. But I was trying, man, I had paused it just right. But you can see like sitting from this angle and just looking out into the darkness of space. Is that the dark matter that we speak of that we're still trying to figure out? Is there a black hole near? Like, it's so many things running through my mind just looking at this.
Hit it back once more. More towards the inside. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that might have been just the graininess of the video. It might not have been no stars I caught. I don't know.
Put in the pocket? Yeah, push down. Got it? Now, not all the way in. Push it. There you go. Contingency sample is in the pocket. My oxygen is 81%. I have no flags and I'm in minimum flow. This is Houston or Roger Neil. Okay, I got the camera going at 1 frame a second.
I wonder if it was possible to like store something in your suit while you was donning it, while you was putting it on, and then that way you can eat out there on the moon. Be like, man, I'm sitting here having my lunch break and a snack out here on the moon right now. Who else is doing this? Nobody but me.
And I've got 80%, no flags. Good. Are you getting a TV picture now, Houston? Neil, yes, we are getting a TV picture. Neil, this is Houston. We're getting a picture. You're not in at the present time. We can see the bag on the LEC being moved by Buzz, though. Here you come into our field of view.
Hey, look at the bounding step.
Oh, Buzz, let me move that over the...
Yo, he was moving just then, like I thought he was running from something.
What? For you. Okay, ready for me to come out?
Wow.
Yeah, just stand by a second. I'll move this over the handrail.
Talk about being super casual.
Yeah. Boy, it looks like fun, doesn't it?
Right.
Hope he doesn't get too casual.
All right, that's got it. Are you ready? All set.
I almost thought that was a simulation. He was moving so fast.
Okay, you saw what difficulties I was having. I'll try to watch.
She's saying stuff like that. That just fuels the conspiracy theorists right there. This is simulation. It feels like a simulation. This is giving them everything they need for this right now.
Your bliss from underneath here.
Aldrin about to emerge apparently from the spacecraft. And Armstrong's going to try to help guide him from below. Said he'd watch his Bliss, his portable life support system, as he climbs out so it doesn't hit the top of the hatch.
Okay, your Bliss looks like it's clear and okay. The toes are about to come over the sill. Okay, now drop your Bliss down. There you go, you're clear. And laterally, you're good. Got an inch clearance on top of your Bliss. Okay, you need a little bit of arching of the back to come down. How far are my feet from the... Okay, you're right at the edge of the porch. Okay. Back in from... Small little foot movement. Porch. Arching of the back. Moment comes up and clears the... okay, without any trouble at all. Looks good.
Their communication is great as well. They're not really talking over and stepping all over each other through the feed. They're talking back and forth calmly, might I add again, calmly. Like, you could tell they took their time in preparing for this. I would love to know or see what goes into the training before a mission takes place, man, because you can see everything is crisp, on point, and seems like it's been rehearsed a million times.
"45 minutes PLSS time expended."
It's 45 minutes out of a total of
Neil,
4
this
hours.
is Houston. Based on your camera transfer with the LEC, do you foresee any difficulties in SRC transfer over? Negative.
SRC is this sample rock container that
That's
the
the
box.
sample return containers, the rock boxes that Capcom...
Now I want to back up and partially close that.
In case anybody comes by, they want the door closed.
This camera angle makes those steps look like they're vastly higher than they really are.
Sure not to lock it on my way out. Particularly good thought.
What do you say?
I'll make sure not to lock it.
Take good care of it. Okay, I'm on the top step and I can look down over the RCU and landing gear pad.
Like, if that was me, the jokes would be flying, bro. Listen, man, I'm trying to get a couple of these rocks so I can sail off when I get back to Earth, man. You know, these moon rocks gonna go for a lot. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, the jokes would be flying. Y'all would be laughing hysterically if that was me up there at that time, man. They'd have to tell me to chill out.
It's a very simple matter to hop down from one step to the next.
There he comes.
Yes, I'm be very comfortable, and walking is also very comfortable. And you've got 3 more steps and then a long one.
Watch that last step.
I guess they expected that strut to compact a little bit more, but as a result, it's a long step from
Okay,
there.
I'm going to leave that 1 foot up there and both hands down about the 4th rung up. There you go.
Wow.
Welcome home.
Aldrin
And
on the
now
moon.
we have
Okay, now I think
2 Americans on the moon.
A little more. About another inch. There you got it. That's a good step. Yeah. What a 3-footer.
3-foot first step with 1/6 gravity, and look at that. It's like
that looked like a workout.
Being on a
Beautiful, beautiful. Isn't that something? Magnificent sight out here. Magnificent desolation.
like walking on a trampoline.
Right.
Oh, my.
Aldrin's first words.
TLSS is nominal.
Beautiful
on
view.
consumables.
Looks like the secondary strut. A little thermal effects on it right here, Neil. Yeah, I noticed that. That's the seems to be the worst, although similar effects are on all around.
I'd be waving to the camera, Mom, I'm on the moon, Mom.
Fine powder, isn't it? Isn't it fine? Right in this area, I don't think there's much of any fine powder. Some clods together, it's hard to tell whether it's a clod or a rock. Notice how you can pick it up, and it bounces, and then
Wow. Man, y'all make sure y'all spam the like button, bro. God, I love this stuff.